Not everyone find one's love.
Her daily routine revolved around her bookstore. Clara had a deep love for literature that transported her to distant worlds and made her forget the absence of love in her life. One chilly autumn day, as Clara was rearranging the shelves, she noticed a tattered book hidden behind a stack of classics. The cover was worn, and the pages yellowed with age. Its title was The Art of Finding Love. Clara opened the book and began to read. The stories within its weathered pages whispered to her like an old friend sharing long-forgotten tales. As Clara got deeper into the book, she was transported to a cottage in the countryside, where the rain tapped gently on the window pane. The story narrated a chance encounter between two strangers who found solace in each other's company during a thunderstorm. The description of their shared laughter painted a vivid picture of budding affection. The words seemed to come alive, and Clara could almost feel the rain's cool touch on her skin and the warmth of their budding connection. It was a world away from her own, but for the first time in a long while, Clara felt a sense of belonging within these pages. She turned another page and found herself in a park, the laughter of children filling the air like musical notes. The story chronicled a man who, amidst the chaos of life, discovered love in the innocent joy of a child's laughter. Clara closed her eyes, trying to capture the essence of that moment, the pure and unadulterated happiness that seemed so elusive in her own life. The book continued to weave its tales of unexpected love. Clara's disbelief melted away, placed by a growing sense of hope. Weeks turned into months, and Clara found herself embracing life in a way she never had before. She watched as the leaves outside her bookstore changed from vibrant green to shades of gold. She saw the world through a different lens, one that magnified the beauty in everyday moments. One sunny afternoon, when Clara stood behind the counter of her bookstore, the soft chime of the doorbell signaled the arrival of a customer. She looked up and found herself locking eyes with a man who exuded warmth and kindness.
"Good afternoon."
He greeted with a smile that reached his eyes, which held a certain familiarity Clara couldn't quite place.
Hello.
Clara replied, her own smile mirroring his.
Is there something in particular you are looking for today?
He stepped closer to the counter, his gaze drifting over the shelves of books that surrounded them.
"Actually, I'm just browsing. I love books. And this place feels like a haven for literature enthusiasts,"
he said. Clara's heart skipped a beat. This was a kindred spirit, a fellow lover of books, standing right in front of her. She couldn't help but feel that this encounter was somehow significant.
Well, you're in good company, then.
Clara said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm.
I've always believed that books have a way of connecting people.
He nodded in agreement.
"Absolutely. There's something magical about the way words on a page can transport you to different worlds and make you feel things you never thought possible."
Clara couldn't have agreed more. As they continued to talk, their conversation flowed effortlessly, like two old friends catching up after years apart. They discussed their favorite authors, shared anecdotes about the books that had touched their hearts, and even debated the merits of different literary genres. As the hours passed, Clara felt a deep sense of connection with this stranger. It was as if they were characters in one of the books she so cherished, their dialogue unfolding with a natural ease that defied explanation. As he handed her the book he had chosen, he paused and looked into her eyes with a hint of hesitation.
"You know, I've really enjoyed our conversation today. Would you perhaps be interested in continuing it over a cup of coffee sometime?"
Clara's heart raced. She had read countless stories of chance encounters and unexpected connections within the pages of The Art of Finding Love, but she never thought she would experience it herself.
I'd love that.
She replied, her voice filled with genuine enthusiasm. They exchanged contact information, and as he left the store, Clara couldn't help but wonder if this was the beginning of something beautiful. She had gone from being an observer of love to an active participant in its dance, just as the stories in the old book had hinted. In the days that followed, Clara and her newfound friend, whose name was Daniel, continued to exchange messages and meet for coffee. Their connection deepened with each passing day. They explored new books together, shared stories of their own lives, and, in the process, discovered a profound sense of understanding and companionship. One evening, as they sat in a cozy corner of a dimly lit cafe, Daniel reached across the table and took Clara's hand.
You know,
He began, his voice soft.
I feel like I've known you for much longer than just a few weeks. There's something about our connection that's extraordinary.
Clara nodded, her heart swelling with emotion.
I feel it too, Daniel. It's as though we were meant to find each other.
Their fingers interlocked, and Clara couldn't help but think back to the stories in The Art of Finding Love. Love had indeed found its way to her, not through grand gestures or fairy tale romance, but through the simple act of connecting with someone who shared her love for books. As the seasons continued to change, Clara and Daniel's bond grew stronger. They learned to cherish the ordinary moments, finding beauty in the everyday, just as the stories in the old books. Clara's belief that not everyone finds love in life had been shattered. She had learned that love was not confined to grand gestures and fairy tales, but was woven into the fabric of the everyday, waiting. Now, Clara's life continued to be filled with meaningful moments, just as the stories in the old book had promised.